During this presentation, I got to meet two exchange students, one from Tunisia and one from Pakistan.
Before this presentation, I didn't know anything about these cultures.
I knew literally nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
Didn't know anything about these two cultures.
For many of our students in our school district, they've never been exposed to a culture other than their own.
Everett being a rural town, we don't really have much cultural diversity around here, so we didn't really know what to expect when hearing from the foreign exchange students.
It's interesting because the real world has diversity in it, and if we haven't provided an education for them when they've been exposed to that, we're kind of selling them short.
So we're going to talk a little bit about differences between the American culture and the Tunisian, Pakistani cultures. And we want you guys to, till now, what do you think is different between both cultures? Like,
do you guys speak any languages like other than English?
I think that in this day and age, stereotyping is a really big problem because a lot of people just aren't educated on different cultures of the world. And whenever you have an opportunity to learn about a different culture other than your own, you should definitely take it.
I speak Arabic, French, English, and I took German in high school.
Yeah. Sure. What are some of the other sports you guys play over there?
For Tunisia, for soccer, basketball, volleyball.
Like, what kind of pets do you have?
Oh, okay. In Pakistan, in fact, the culture of having dogs is not very common. We are more like cat people.
I love dogs and cats, to be honest.
Favorite thing about America so far?
Chicken pot pie. Chicken pot pie. Whatever.
Most of the population in your countries live in big cities or kind of rural areas?
Yeah. In Pakistan, most of the people live in the rural areas.
Recently I had an opportunity to learn about two different cultures other than my own, and I learned a lot that was honestly surprising to me. We're similar to their cultures. It makes me want to learn about other cultures.
Cultural diversity is really important in almost any place that you go. We had two foreign exchange students come here, and I know probably about 95% of the students at Everett were clueless as to what their society and culture was like.
So the Jibba, I have it over there. It's not very, sorry guys, it's not very practical to wear a during presentation, otherwise I would have worn it for today. It's very loose and it's,
I think learning about like cultural differences is really important because some people think like they're so different they don't understand anything, they like to do the same things, and if you don't learn about what people are like and you think, oh, they're so much different than me and they're not gonna understand me, they really will if you just take the time to understand who they are and what they think.
Exposing a person to another culture up front, getting to know them, getting to laugh with them, and just ask some basic questions. They get to know that people aren't that different.
Before coming to the United States, was your expectation the same as it is like now that you see what it's like?
Thought I might have to face like Islamophobia or people who are going to stereotype me because of my culture or the way I speak or my accent or my color or my skin or anything. But honestly, I think in the United States people are very welcoming, and it's not what I expected. It's much better than I expected.
I think that cultural diversity and multicultural education is important because of the simple phrase, ignorance is bliss. It's easy to dehumanize and criminalize a culture you don't understand. Like in Night, the Germans dehumanize the Jews because they don't understand them, so it makes it easier to do what they did to them.
We read two stories throughout the year, Man's Search for Meaning and Night, and they both helped open our eyes to what can happen when intolerance reaches its all-time high.
It was written by a Jewish Holocaust survivor, and it documented how inhumane the Germans were.
Midway through the year, we were lucky enough to go to the Holocaust Museum in DC to learn about the terrible things that were committed against the Jewish people.
One thing that stuck out to me in the Holocaust Museum was getting to talk to the survivor. He was about to when it started. His family moved everywhere in France and hid everywhere.
I think it's important to study the Holocaust so tragedy doesn't happen again in the future.
And I'm always amazed by how we're able to affect students because they see what excluding others and refusing to accept others for the way they are, for their beliefs, can do to a society as it did during World War II.
By learning this, it shows us how hard times were for others and how bad intolerance really was. And I think by learning about it, it'll show us what intolerance can do to people and what it can cause.
The thing that probably stuck out the most to both of us was the boxcar and seeing just how small it was.
Both in awe, kind of, as we walked through and saw the model of the crematory and the gas chambers, and just at how much a larger scale it was than we both had pictured. Once we got back from the trip, to further expand our view on intolerance, we did research projects on other religions, and it opened our eyes more as to the different cultures and different people throughout the world.
We did our diversity project on Zoroastrianism.
I did my diversity project on Mormonism.
For our diversity project, we research Islam.
Project on Taoism.
I did Judaism. If you're wondering, this is Hebrew.
I did my project on Chinese folk religion.
We did our diversity project on Buddhism.
We did our diversity project on Rastafarianism.
We did our diversity project on Islam.
So my personal view on diversity and intercultural exchanges is that every time you're exposed to one culture, you gain this ability to see the world from different perspective, and you have this passion to try to discover the world more, because the world is not only about one culture or your culture or my culture.
People from different countries who, of course, can be very different countries that fight together for years, disagreements, all coming together and realize what makes us the same. Well, we're all still human. We're all still students coming together in the same school, same education system. And after, of course, all this turmoil and stuff going on in the world right now, the future generation can come right in with the knowledge we've had and help this scenario. Like what we're doing right now, you guys coming and talking to us, realizing that we're not all that different anymore.
And so I think that multicultural education is important because when you listen and you go to different cultures, it's really easy to see how every culture is based on some sort of love.
I think that this is an amazing way of showing love, sharing your culture with others, and just the way the people here that I presented in front of were curious about my culture. I'm pretty sure that when they visit my country, they're gonna be bombarded with questions like that, and I think that's the key, curiosity. And you ask people the questions that you don't know the answers to, and you never know what amazing things you might learn, new things that you might learn, and I think that's the key.